Good afternoon. My name is Yi Fei. This is
Hi,
my
Sam.
teammate and my teammate Ken. So today we are going to present our topic social marketing for the subject. Social marketing for the topic mental issue for the young people. So I will be the first person to present our presentation. So thank you. So this is our title of the this is our front of page. So so this is our title, the concern of the mental health among young people. Okay, yes. So what is the mental health? So mental health is referred to our cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being. It's all about how we think, feel, and behave. The term mental health is sometimes used to mean an absence of mental disorder. Mental health can affect daily life, relationship, and even the physical health. Mental health also included a person's ability to enjoy life, to attain a balance between life activities and effort to achieve psychological resilience. Okay, so the World Health Organization defines health as a physical, spiritual, and social well-being, not just without the disease and weakness. Okay, that's alright. So for the problem statement, actually the highest prevalence of mental illness is young people aged between 16 to 24. So the estimate number of people affected by mental illness is 60 to 24 years old, which is equivalent to 26.2% in the whole population. Or a quarter of the population, more specifically in the UK, is estimated that more than 33,000 people have severe and chronic mental illness. A mental illness that interferes with the certain aspect of a mental illness function. So it can be estimated that every person with people with a mental illness interact with at least 10 people, such as your friend, your colleague, and people in the community. Therefore, despite 33,000 people severe and chronic mental illness, but given this interaction, the effect of mental illness can easily rise to 330,000 people, or a third of the UK. Okay, so actually, what are the mental health problems that young people often have? Like depression affect more children and young people today than in the last few decades, but it's still more common in the adults. Teenagers are more likely to experience depression than young children. It's not always easy to identify things that trigger poor mental health. Self-harm is also one of very common affected by the teenager. Self-harm is a very common problem among young people. Some people find it help them manage intense emotional pain if they harm themselves through cutting or burning. For example, they may not wish to take their own life. So, and also anxiety disorder are the most common types of the mental illness. The individual has a severe fear anxiety, which is linked to the certain objects or situation. Most of the people with an anxiety disorder will try to avoid exposure to whatever trigger their anxiety. Okay, next. So for our topic objective actually is organize a social marketing campaign to analyze and research what is the mental problem among the young people. The examine past research by using the innovative qualitative research method to analyze the young people among 18 to 24 years old, which mental health problem to understand their experience, to help address the issue about the young men and their access of the mental health, and also educate them implant to their parents or the guardian in order to reduce the rate of the mental illness among the young people. Okay, yes. So for the segmentation part, So actually marketing segmentation is the activity of divided a broad consumer of business market, normally consisting on or assisting on potential customer into the subgroup of consumer based on some type of shared characteristics. And the segment created is made up to consumer who will respond similarly to marketing strategy and share feature such as the similar interest, need and location. So actually they have 4 types of the consumer market, like geography, demographic, and psychographic, and behavioral. So for the following part, I will be explain about what is the geography part, demographic part, and psychographic part, and also the behavioral part. So for the first, we will discuss about the demographic segmentation. So for our objectives, so currently we are aiming the target market is male, and also age is between 16 to 24, and for those who have the mental health problem. Yes. So for the geographic segmentation, so we are going to organize the event in UK, United Kingdom, for the very famous shopping mall in Westfield, London, that have around 27.5 million annual visitors in this area. So this is the reason why we are going to choose this location for organize our campaign. So it is one of the most of the population shopping location in UK, and also one of the point of it is of accessibility. Okay, and the next is psychology segmentation. So psychology segmentation is a method used to group prospective clients to previous customer by their shared personality, traits, belief, value, attitudes, interests, and lifestyle, and other factors. These characteristics may be observable or not. So for the psychographic segmentation, it will influence the lifestyle, attitudes, and values, personality, social status. So for our purpose is helping for young men mental health issue, and also to feeling can contribute in the society, and this also is an ethical program. Okay, that's so for the current part is a behavioral segmentation. So behavioral segmentation that have 3 elements, which is the personalization, predictive, and prioritization. So for the personalization is understand how different group of the customers should be targeted with different offer at the most appropriate times through their preferred channel to effective help them to advance towards successful outcome in their journey. So for the predictive part is use the historical behavior pattern to predict and influence future customer behavior and outcome. So for the prioritization is make smarter decision on how to do the best allocate time, budget, and resources by identify the high value customer segment and initiative with the greatest potential business impact. Okay, that's so for this our target market. So actually the primary target audience refers to the stakeholder that are primarily concerned with the mental health consumer. Is recognized that there may be specific consideration for different mental health service setting, for example child and adolescent mental setting for health service, older person mental health service, forensic mental health service, and for different group of consumer, including the Aboriginal and Torres Strait and Islander and people from culturally and linguistically and driver background. This consideration need to be addressed when planning and implementing safety improvement strategy and activity. So this is our target market. For those is young man, is a single, age between 16 to 24, and turn the self-harm to deal with the difficult information. So for those who is having the mental health issue will be our target audience. So normally based on the picture you can see that actually for the children, 1 out of 10 will be having the mental issue, and also the age between 14 will be half people will be having the healthy problem in the mental, and also 3 out of 4 of the teenager will having the mental issue as well. So, yes. So for the following part, I will pass to my teammate Sam to continue to present it.
Thank you, Yife. So now for my part, I will going to explain the 2 theories which we have selected for this presentation regarding the mental health issues, especially for the target market, which is 16 to 24. So the first theory which we have selected for this presentation is the exchange theory. So over here in this first page of this theory is the main idea of this theory. So over here, this theory is basically based on the exchange, which is, if we talk about the exchange process regarding the customers and the business, in our case, business is our campaign, which we are going to create for the people who are suffering from the mental health issues, especially from depression and breakdowns of the nervous system and all that. So that's why it's mentioned over here that the exchange process is not going to be very attractive, because the people who are suffering from the depression and the mental health issues cannot stay on a track for the exchange process. That's why over here the formula from this theory's drive is profit. In our case is the campaign which we are going to create, and then rewards of interaction. Over here it means that the campaign which we were going to create, how much people and how many men especially going to get affected in a good way regarding their mental stress, and then cost of interaction. This will definitely more towards the cost which we will going to do for the campaign, the booth or whatever way selected for the campaign. So over here, this is how the division have been made between rewards and benefits and the cost. This is totally for our own benefits, for our own cost which we are going to create from the campaign regarding the mental health issues, which is more focused for the advantages of the people who are suffering from the mental health issues. And over here, the campaign can be spread and the rewards can be given through gift vouchers for the people who wants to avail the facility for the mental health issues. The same example as money, like any gift vouchers regarding money and regarding the social recognition. Next. So over here in this slide, the benefit and the cost analysis has been made. So the benefit from the campaign is the direct revenues. This is all which we can include in our benefit, means the campaign. And over here, the cost which we can charge, or even if we talk about on the regular basis also, the company or the business can charge these costs even from the campaigns or from the product. In our case, it's the campaign and the knowledge which we are providing or the technology which we are providing. Same, the result. At the last, by analyzing these two, what the company can do, they can do the comparison between these two, and then after that the company, in our case, in our campaign, so we can analyze that how much coverage we have got, not especially in the term of cost, in the term of the people who are taking the advantages from the campaign, which is the mental health, especially for the target market. So in the next one, these are the major components of the exchange theory process. So I will going to explain regarding our campaign, regarding our criteria of this presentation. So over here, product. So in our case, for this presentation, the product is the campaign which we are going to provide in the central area of the Westfield London, which is the shopping mall. So in our case, that is a product. Price. In our case, price is the cost which we are going to create for the campaign. Place, as I mentioned, that the Westfield shopping mall is selected for the campaign area, for place. Promotion, which we are going to talk about later on in the slides. Same is the competition, which will going to be a very general, not very related to our presentation topic, but in the later slides I will going to merge and explain how it can be related. Over here, this is actually the journal thing presenting in this slide, but this is the way I'm going to explain that how our presentation and how our topic can be involved in this all process. So basically these arrow, the main idea of providing these arrows, that this thing and this thing are completely interact with each other. How? Because the company or the brand, or in our case, whatever innovation of technology we are providing, in our case is the demographics and all the search and all the data which we are going to collect regarding the mental health issues. So in that way, the customer must have some kind of accomplishment regarding our product, regarding our campaign. Same thing is the profits. If we are getting the profits, the company, if the company, for example, if the company is getting the profits, what should the company give to the consumers? In our case, if we are providing mental health issues awareness or any campaign, what the consumers, what the people who are suffering from the mental health issues can accept from us, what they can get is the satisfaction. For example, if the people are having a mental health issues, they definitely, if they are getting the information regarding their problem, they must satisfy through our campaign. Cost effective and the quality of the product. So for example, not in our case, if the company is providing the good quality of the product, but it's a high price, probably if the brand awareness is not much high, the people won't get much attracted to it. So if the company is providing good quality but in a reasonable price, especially in the areas they are targeting, they might get a very good response from the consumers. Brand awareness. As I mentioned, that if the company is providing the quality of the product but the price is so high related to their brand awareness, the consumer will not going to get much attract towards the brand or towards the product for the higher price. So the price should be reasonable. In our case, if we are providing the campaign, if we are providing the awareness regarding mental health issues, it should be related to the mental health and related to all the campaigns which we have planned to create, and not much charged, much not out of the track from the topic and from the mental health problems. This is only the example have been used over here in this slide, that for example these two stores in Malaysia, so they are targeting everyone. The examples have been made from the shoes. They have all the target market, they are targeting all. How? They are providing the low and the reasonable prices for their shoes. So in the same way, if we are providing the campaign for the mental health issues, we can target even outer like 16 to 24, and we can, once we got our target market, we can even target more people, those who are suffering due to any reason, might be possible due to the breakups, due to their loss of the jobs, due to their family problems, and regarding anything. So if the campaign is clear, they can target or they can achieve more from their targets. Same thing, more option for consumers. If we are taking the examples of these two stores, we can take the example of Nike. Nike have a very good brand awareness, and they have a very good reputation in the regular market. So that's why they are charging and they are getting more responses and more higher prices from the people. But over here, these two stores understand the locality and understand the consumer behavior, and that's why they are providing the product which is reasonable and easily reachable to the consumers. So in the next one, place. So as I mentioned that we have selected for our campaign, so the place is the Westfield in London. So this is actually the very good shopping mall, the central one, very convenient for the people who are in the area, and people can easily visit also. So as I mentioned earlier, that why we have selected, for example, if we are saying the concept store, if we are taking the example of the concept store, they have actually targeted the shopping mall. So idea is drive from here that instead of selecting the hypermarkets for the campaign, we are selecting the shopping mall because of the locality, because of the more people who are coming into the shopping mall as compared to the hypermarket. Even if once we get successful in the campaigns and in the knowledge of the mental health issues, like the concept stores anywhere in the world, we can also provide the online services and the online suggestions to the people who are suffering from the mental health. In that way, we can not only target 16 to 24 ages of the people, we can target more people from all around the world through the online shopping, as the example of the concept store. So promotion. Over here, like we are using, as mentioned earlier, that whatever business and whatever campaigns we need to go through, we have to go through the promotions to let the people aware. So the promotions can be made through advertising by distributing social media. As we know that social media is much famous all across the world. So for the promotion, we can do the social media campaigns, social media advertising, and moreover, if we want to know more people aware of our campaign, we can use the direct marketing tools, public relation. Personal selling means for the interaction, we can give out the flyers, we can ask them to visit and see, and according to their satisfaction, they can visit or they can come to us regarding their problems. Next one. So this one is continue. As I mentioned, that online website advertising promotions are very attractive. Why? Because if we say online and website advertising is very famous and very attractive nowadays, because the people all around the world are using internet mostly in 24 hours. They have to work, they have to submit their assignment, they have to use their email IDs to get aware from the regular views and the happening all around the world. They want to communicate, they have to use the internet. For example, as I am an international student over here, I have to communicate with my family, I have to use the internet. So that's why if we choose the online advertising for our campaign, that will be very helpful to people in the UK and the targeted market to get more aware regarding the campaign. Endorsement of the product and promotion through the events. In the same way, if we want to get more people aware regarding our campaign, we can do the promotion through the events, through the meetings, through the small sessions regarding the campaign, and we can explain them what we can offer and what we can do in our campaign to help them solve the problem regarding the mental health issues. So now over here, the second theory selected is the social cognitive theory. Why? Because first of all, the creator, the developer of this theory was Professor Albert Bandura. This one is very famous professor from the UK. So people always learn from the reason for selecting this theory is because this theory is related to the behavior, related to the two people interacting with each other. So in our way, if the guy who is having the mental health issues, the first thing the mental health problem do is the cut off from their family circle, from the friends. So that's why this theory has been selected to help understand the behavior of the people and how to solve the problem. So that's the thing. If the people who are interacting with the different people definitely going to learn how they can create the impact on their health, especially on the mental health, is available on the next slide, which I will going to explain. So over here in this one, all the explanation from the previous slide I have been made is provided in the form of model. So over here, behavior factor definitely affects personal factor and cognitive factor and the environmental factor. So the main thing is the behavior factor, how the person behaves, no matter if the person is having the mental issues or the other who is the person interact with. Definitely he can, from his behavior factor, from his behavior impact, he can put a very good positive response or the positive impact on the person who is having the mental health problem. Because once the person has the mental health issues, the first thing is the depression, and that is the thing where the affected person starts to think that he is not valuable and he is not have the value to the regular world. That's why most of the time, as mentioned earlier, they want to create the suicide attempts, they want to die, they don't feel important in their regular lives. So that's why it's mentioned over here that if the person who is interacted with the person who is having this mental health problem can have the very good impact, very good conversation, to have the positive vibes from him to the person who is having the mental health problem. Over here, that's what, in a form of knowledge, in a form of goal, in a form of self-efficiency, the person who have the good impact on the person who is having the mental health issues can be in any form, even the knowledge, even the goal. The person can ask him or create a very good thinking in his mind that he can do anything, he can be a very positive person, and that is the main theme of our campaign, that why we have to create the campaign. In a form of knowledge, in a form of self-efficiency, the person can have a very good impact on the person's mind who is suffering from the mental health problem. Next one. Over here in this slide, I have used the example of the modeling, that how if the person is having the mental health problem, the people who are surrounding his side and the people who are surrounding him, how they can help in the process of healing the mental health problem. One of the most important steps, if we take the doctor's advice and if we take the personal doctor's advice regarding the mental health issues, they actually provide the knowledge and provide the positive things to the people who have gone through from the different hard works. Example is the next slide. Over here is mentioned that modeling can be of various types, positive or positive and the negative influence both. It's not necessary that the person who is idealizing some person from media or from the books or from any character which he is willing to watch can only be positive. It can also be very negative. So the people who are suffering from the mental health issues must be look out that what they are going through, what they want to see, what they want to follow, what they want to say, and they have to be followed on everything on their daily life, that what they want to do, what they want to see, even regarding the music, what they want to listen, because they need help in every step. As mentioned earlier, that real people can also be influenced in every aspect, celebrity, social workers. So over here, like if we use the example of celebrities, social workers, and in a positive way, people can take a very good impact, and comparing themselves through their hard work, then they can actually do something good and they can achieve their goals like these people have achieved in their life before them. There are many examples regarding the mental health issues in the celebrity, in the media also, that they have the severe mental health issues, especially depression. Some of them took the life of themselves, but some of them survived. So they can idealize themselves and they can learn how to achieve all the goals. In the next one, I have provided, as I mentioned earlier, I have provided the examples that these are the people who can be idealized. These are the three people who are very famous regarding their positivity, regarding their style, regarding their humanity. Nelson Mandela, the most famous political leader from South Africa. He is, till now, he is the most famous political leader till date. Why? He created the positive vibes, although he suffered in his life, although he has suffered a very tough life. So the person who is suffering from the mental health problems, he can idealize and have the impact of his life in his life, and can create a positivity regarding their mental issues, that when he survived, he might have gone through depression or the mental health issues also. That's why they can idealize the positivity through his character. This one over here, the singer, only one singer from her country, only one famous singer from her country, Barbados. She was from a very small town. She was a very poor girl. They don't have much to eat. But now she has idealized as the most stylish and one of the most popular, famous singer all around the world. Why? She might have gone through some kind of mental health problems, might not be possible, but the person who is having the mental health problem can idealize her as the strength of their positivity. The next one, the learning process. If the person who is suffering from the mental health problem, how these points have been helped to create the positivity in his life, and how he can learn the positive things from his past experiences. The most important thing over here plays an important role for the person who is having the mental health problem is the experiments and the experiences. Experiences can play a very, very important role in everybody's life. Even it can be positive or the negative experience, but it definitely plays a very important role. For example, when the person was in the relationship who is having the mental health issues, he can have the very good experience and a very good positive experience from the past relationship which he have been gone through. So that's why experience and reflective observation, which is reviewing, reflecting on the experiences. So all of these things are in a one cycle. If the person has the positive experience, he can learn a positive review, he can give the positive review. But if the person who is having a mental health problems, positivity is very low in his mind, so he can create the positive thinking, he can create the positive vibes from the past experiences, and create the positivity in the future which he will going to suffer next time. So in that way, once he got the positive past experiences, it's not possible that he only has the past bad experiences. He must have the positive experiences, so he can create a very good thinking regarding the past experiences. There are people who only thinks positive, there are people who thinks only negative, so he has to think regarding the positivity and create the positive environment regarding. In that way, he can learn all the things, not regarding only studies, knowledge. He can create a very good impact on his own self to learn for the future, for the better future man. So for the next slide, I will going to pass on to Ken to continue the presentation.
Okay, for the smart analysis of the mental health issue, the first one is specific, aim to help young people solve the mental health issue, the educate parents or guardians to reduce the intensity of the mental health issue among for the measurable, the carry out and the actions are important to mental health education cause the improve the mental health state of the parents and the teacher, the enable the parents and another members of the society on the mental health and to create a good family and social environment, not reliable, and at the young people, and the second one and at the employing mental health issue. The last one is 10 days, and we should use 1 month and next. For the budget of our case, the outcome, the points, the banners, we spent 2,500, and the posters we spent 2,000, and the table we spent 1,600, and the chairs we spent 2,300, and for the advertising part, we put in the newspaper. We used 4,000, and on the social media, we use 7,600, and another total is 20,000. And next, on the conclusion, both the parents and the teachers should try to care about the teenager as much as possible. So long as we pay more attention to them, we can find out their problems. Children's mental health is very limited, so we parents should put more attention on the young people. Teenagers must create more hobbies. Hobbies can help they address their mental health, and the mental health of the teenager is related to the education of the school and the happiness of the family.
So this is our presentation today. Thanks for listening. Okay, thank you.